Well, everyone, it looks like we are getting some really good news about the iPhone 14 right now, specifically about the iPhone 14 Pro. So it looks like yesterday, Tim Cook, of all people, for their earnings call, actually mentioned that although I think pretty much the iPhone 14 Plus and 14 aren't really seeing crazy sales, specifically the 14 Plus, the iPhone 14 Pro and the iPhone 14 Pro Max, according to them, from the beginning, actually had a really massive, sales number. And it's actually really hard for them to actually meet demand for the iPhone 14 Pro and the iPhone 14 Pro Max. Now, we've seen a ton of, I guess, not flip-flopping, but a ton of news recently about how the iPhone 14 Plus isn't really selling too well, and Apple actually had to go ahead and I think they stopped continuing to, the development of the iPhone 14 Plus for the time being. They may continue it later on because they're just probably having so many, in shelves that they can't even sell. And they actually, I believe, started, focusing their development on the iPhone 14 Pro and the 14 Pro Max. So the supply chain apparently, shifted that direction. So now they're going through and they're actually making a lot more iPhone 14 Pro and iPhone 14 Pro Max. And as I've mentioned before, this is exactly what Apple wanted. They wanted people to not buy the iPhone 14 and or the iPhone 14 Plus, and they wanted people to go ahead and focus more on the Pro and the Pro Max. Now, I don't think there's ever been a year where the Plus model, even from the 2014 iPhone 6 Plus all the way to the iPhone 8 Plus from 2017, or these Pro Max models or the Pro models of any iPhone after, outsold the base model of iPhones. I can't think of one year where that's ever happened, but if there's ever a chance where it could have possibly happened ever, this is probably the year something like this could probably end up happening. How crazy would it be that the people who, the iPhones like the iPhone 14 and 14 Plus ended up not selling as much as the iPhone 14 Pro or the iPhone 14 Pro Max? That would be exceptionally crazy. I think last year could have probably been pretty close. The 13 Pro and the 13 Pro Max were such amazing iPhones, but now that Apple added that Plus model, it's now kind of it's almost like removed a gap between the price tag. Because now we have $799, $899, and $999 iPhones. So instead of people going through to the Apple Store and saying, oh, it's $799 and then $999 for the next one, that's a lot of money. Now they've closed the gap. And I guess it seems almost like a ladder, like, oh, it's not as big of a gap, mentally as you can see. Although I will say I would have loved to have seen these iPhones probably be a little bit cheaper, but it's probably never going to happen. I still think the iPhone 14 is a great phone. I still think the iPhone 13 is a great phone. Honestly, I still think the iPhone 10 is a great phone as well. But I think this is good news for the company of Apple. But I just really hope this showcases to Apple, hey, if you make a really good Pro phone, then people are going to buy it. And I'm hoping that with the iPhone 15, I hope they just don't expect people to go and upgrade. They're going to have to do a lot to, keep this momentum going for the Pro models. And they're going to have to bring in USB-C, which is already almost confirmed. It's pretty much confirmed at this point. And I'm curious to see what else they're going to bring on that iPhone as well. So that kind of covers it up. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More important than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.